Hey guys, I'm not sure if I should welcome you back or you welcome me. But either way, it's good to be back in action. In case you were pondering what happened over the past 2 weeks, I kind of lost motivation in doing anything, and all I did was sit and watch movies, series, and YouTube. Although I was feeling lazy per se, I wasn't fully lazy because I actually got a lot of stuff done here in the studio, as well as, if you haven't seen, we uploaded a new channel banner and icon. So I haven't fully kicked that feeling of being lazy, but either way we have to get back at it, otherwise I would be being lazy. And with that being said, let's cue the intro. On today's video, we're going to be updating our upgrade to our home network. So basically, upgrade 2.0. Before we proceed, if you haven't seen our initial upgrade of our home network, I suggest you check that out first because that explains how our current setup works. And if you haven't seen that yet, link is up there in the YouTube cards. You can go ahead, check that out first, and then come back to this video. Welcome to our makeshift server room. So if you're wondering what inspired our home network upgrade version 2, it was the fact that we actually installed a home server. And if you haven't seen that, there's quite a few videos of us building it, the specs, the software of choice, and the final product. If you'd like to have a look at that, those videos are going to be linked up there in the YouTube cards. You can go ahead and check that out. So as I was saying, the server is actually what inspired our home network upgrade, because with the addition of the server, we actually ran out of space on the back of our router. We have 4 ports at the back of the router, and we have 6 Ethernet cables here at this point. We have 6 Ethernet cables here at this point. Right. So the first upgrade we made was the UPS. So if you remember from version 1 of our home network upgrade, we had a small white UPS which just powered the network should anything happen, such as load shedding or even a power shortage. Or not a power shortage, a power dip or anything. And when we put the server in here and we hooked that up to the UPS, we did a test, and when we switched the power off, the UPS couldn't handle the load of the server and the UPS stripped. So that's why we changed it to this bigger, higher wattage UPS. So the UPS is connected to the server and to the network should anything happen. It'll keep both of them up, and it would switch the server off. As soon as the power went down, it would power down the server, but it would still keep the the network on, right? So that's our UPS spoken about. And the second upgrade we're going to make is we're going to be installing this 48 port switch. There isn't any particular reason for my choice of this switch. It was just something that I had lying around, and it was just kind of convenient to just put it in here. So we actually have 6 cables here, as I said, right? So there's going to be a lot of empty ports on this, and it allows us to actually upgrade in the future. So it's kind of convenient in that way as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this installed. Also for the switch, we're going to be taking power from the UPS so that it could also manage our switch. So if anything were to happen, our Wi-Fi wouldn't be on and then all the LAN cables go off. So that's why we're going to be hooking it up to this. Alright, so cable gets plugged into the UPS. Alright, come on. And I'm just going to slot this in here. Now the switch is installed. What we're going to do is actually move all our Ethernet cables. From there, we're going to move it down to the switch. So the first cable is going downstairs to the modem that's acting as an access point. We haven't changed that at all, right? The next cable goes to one of the rooms here. These 2 red cables run to my room. One to the router acting as an access point, and the other one directly to my PC. Alright. This red cable is running to the server, and then this blue cable is connecting to the desk over here. So there might be some other cables that we run for now, and if you would notice, there is actually a problem here. So we ran all our Ethernet cables in here, but there's no cable bringing internet from the router to the switch. So that's where our last cable comes in. We're going to connect it in here, and then this cable connects to our router, and what it's going to be doing is actually going to be bringing the internet from the router to the switch to allow for its distribution. If you remember from version 1 of our home network upgrade, in my room we had our Netgear range extender. So what we're going to do is actually remove it from here, and we're going to be putting this range extender in the studio. And we're going to be replacing it with a Cisco router that's acting as a range extender or an access point. And if you're wondering how we did that, we actually made a complete video on how we did that, and that video is going to be linked up there in the YouTube card, so you can go ahead and check that out. So also in version 1 of our home network upgrade, you'd remember I said I ran 2 network cables to my room. One which is going directly into my PC, and the second one was actually an extra cable in case I needed to connect my laptop or anything. So the extra cable is going to be connecting directly to this router now, because that's bringing the internet to this router. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that done quickly, and then I'll explain a little more. Alright, so while that starts up, you might be thinking, instead of running 2 cables to your room, why don't you run just one to your router, and then run a second cable from your router directly into your PC, so you don't have 2 cables actually coming in all the way from the server room into your room. And the reason for that is, this router has a 10100 switch at the back. So it transfers data at 10 megabits per second and 100 megabits per second. But if I connect a direct cable between my PC and the router in the server room, it's actually a 1 gig connection. So it can transfer data at up to speeds of a gigabit per second. And for file transfers, that is actually very handy. So if I'm transferring files from my PC to the server, it can transfer at up to a gigabit per second. But it doesn't actually go to 1 gig because there are bottlenecks at different ends. And 1 gigabit compared to 100 is actually 10 times. So you'd understand why I'm not connecting a cable directly to that. So this has been lit up, it has started up, and we're done here. So let's go ahead to the studio and set this up. So as I said, now we're connecting our Netgear range extender here in the studio. So how our range extender works is, it basically connects to our existing Wi-Fi network and then amplifies the signal and actually amplifies the speed of the connection as well. Alright, so all that needs to be done is, it just needs to be connected in here, plugged in, switched on. So as you would have noticed, we do have 2 Ethernet cables here. So one is running to our media box down here, and the second is running to a workstation that we have set up here in the studio. And the reason that we have this LAN cables is because with the media box, as well as the laptop that we have set up as the workstation, we connect to the server inside. So over Wi-Fi, it does lose a bit of strength connectivity. So that's why we have the LAN cables, because it amplifies the connection between the laptop or the media box from here to the access point that it's connecting to. Right, so it's plugged in, all green lights, that means it's working. And we're done here.
And that brings us to the end. So I'm not sure if this video made it out on time, but either way, if it did or didn't, I'm letting you guys know that from next week, we're going to be uploading videos at 7 p.m. Central African Time every Wednesday. If you enjoyed this video, you can let me know by giving it a like rating if you did, and getting subscribed if you aren't subscribed already, turning on post notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Guys, my name is Trishan, thanks for watching, and I'll see you same time, same place, next week.